A long, long time ago, before there were any people, animals, or even plants, our planet was a lonely, dry rock floating in space. There were no oceans, no rivers, and no lakes, just a hot, empty land with nothing but dust and rocks. Have you ever wondered how water came to cover so much of our Earth? Scientists have some interesting ideas about where the water came from. One idea is called the comet theory. This theory suggests that water didn't start on Earth. Instead, it came from space. A long time ago, icy comets, big chunks of ice from deep in space, might have crashed into Earth. When these comets hit the planet, the ice melted and turned into water. So the water in your glass today might have traveled through space millions of years ago before it arrived here on Earth. It's amazing to think about how something so far away could bring water to our planet. But there's another idea. Some scientists believe that water has always been here on Earth. They say that water is hidden deep inside the planet. Under the Earth's surface, there are very hot rocks and gases that slowly release water. This water made its way to the surface over time. It wasn't brought by comets. It was already here, deep inside the Earth. So, was water from space or from deep within Earth? No one knows for sure, but both ideas are exciting. Now let's think about what happened after the water arrived on Earth. Over millions of years, the water began to spread. It didn't just stay in one place. It started to fill the lowest parts of the land. These low areas became the first seas and oceans. Imagine what it would have looked like. Huge amounts of water slowly filling the valleys and empty spaces on Earth. Slowly, Earth began to look more like the planet we know today, full of water, with oceans, seas, and lakes everywhere. This water was important for something even bigger. Once there was water on Earth, life could begin. Water is like the beginning of everything. Without it, there would be no life at all. The first life forms that appeared on Earth needed water to survive. And even today, every living thing, from tiny microbes to large animals, needs water to live. It's amazing how water is not just something we use every day, but also something that started it all. Every drop of water you see today, whether it's in a river, the ocean, or your drinking glass, might have come from a comet in space or from deep inside the Earth. This water is the reason our planet is full of life. It's the reason we have plants, animals, and even us. Imagine how different Earth must have been before water appeared. It would have been a dry, empty place with no life at all. But when water arrived, everything changed. Water filled the Earth and gave us the oceans, the rivers, and the lakes. These bodies of water became homes for the first creatures to live, and they gave us a place where all life could grow, change, and thrive. So, the next time you drink a glass of water, think about where it came from. It could have traveled through space, carried on a comet, or come from deep within the Earth. Either way, it's part of an incredible journey that began billions of years ago. And without water, Earth would still be a lonely, dry rock floating in space. It's hard to imagine our world without it, isn't it? Water is the key to everything, and it all started a long time ago in ways that are still a mystery to us. After water arrived on Earth and filled the oceans, something amazing began to happen. Water wasn't just important for filling up space. It became the place where life would begin. At first, there were no trees, animals, or even the smallest plants. The Earth was quiet, but the water was alive with tiny things. These tiny living things are called microbes, and they were the first life on Earth. Microbes were so small that you couldn't see them with your eyes. They were like tiny pieces of life that floated in the water. But even though they were small, they were very important. These little creatures were the first step in the long story of life on Earth. Without them, there would be no plants, animals, or people. So, Why did life begin in the water? Water is special. It is a safe place where tiny living things can grow. It's also very good at protecting life from the dangerous heat of the sun. Imagine if the sun were shining directly on these tiny creatures. They would be too hot to survive. But the water kept them cool and safe. Water also helped these microbes move around. It carried food and nutrients to them, allowing them to grow and change. Without water, these tiny microbes might not have come together to form life. Over a long time, these tiny microbes began to grow. They didn't stay small forever. Some of them changed and became plants. These early plants were very simple. They didn't have flowers or trees like we see today. But they could do something very important. They could make their own food from sunlight. This process is called photosynthesis. These plants turned sunlight into food and gave life to the oceans. They also helped make the water a better place for life to grow. As time passed, some microbes changed again and became animals. These animals were still very simple. They didn't look like the animals we know today, but they were alive and they could move. They began to eat the tiny plants in the ocean. This created a cycle of life in the water. Plants gave food to animals, and animals lived by eating the plants. All of this happened in the water. The water was not just a place where life began, it was the home and the safety for the first living things. The ocean was full of life, but it was also full of change. Over millions of years, these tiny microbes, plants, and animals grew into more complex forms. Some of them became larger and stronger. They learned new ways to survive, and they kept changing and growing into new forms of life. Water did something else very important. It allowed life to evolve. This means that life changed over time to become better at surviving. The first life forms in the ocean had to learn how to live in the water, how to find food, and how to stay safe from other creatures. The animals that were able to adapt and change survived. Those that couldn't change didn't survive. In the oceans, life continued to grow more complex. From the very first tiny microbes, there were now plants, animals, and many other creatures. Over time, the oceans became full of life, from the smallest fish to the biggest whale. And all of this life started in the water. Even today, life still depends on water. Every living thing on Earth needs water to survive, whether it's an animal, a plant, or a human being. Water is still the most important part of life on Earth. It is the reason that life began and the reason that life continues. The next time you look at a body of water, whether it's a river, a lake, or the ocean, remember that this water is not just water. It's the place where life began. It's the home of the first living things on Earth. Without water, life would not have started. And without water, life could not survive. Water is still the cradle of life, just as it was billions of years ago when the first tiny microbes began to grow and change. Water is truly a magical element. It holds the power to create life and help it grow. It keeps us alive and supports us, just as it supported the first life on Earth. Water has been here from the very beginning, and it will always be here, helping life continue to grow and thrive. Today, water plays a huge role in our daily lives. It is everywhere. It fills our rivers, oceans, and lakes, and it is found in the air we breathe and the food we eat. Water is not just something we use to drink or bathe. It is the lifeblood of the planet. Without it, nothing would survive. Water has been important since the beginning of life on Earth, and it continues to shape the world we live in today. Rivers are a perfect example of how water impacts our world. Rivers are like the veins of Earth, carrying water from the mountains to the oceans. Rivers are very important because they provide water for drinking, growing food, and cleaning. Many of the world's oldest cities were built near rivers because they offered everything people needed to survive. For example, ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, the Chinese, and the Indians all grew and thrived near rivers. The Nile River in Egypt, the Yangtze River in China, and the Indus River in India all helped these early civilizations grow strong. Rivers also provide food. Fish live in rivers, and people have always depended on fish for food. In many parts of the world, people still fish in rivers to feed their families. Rivers also bring rich soil to the land. This soil is great for growing crops. In ancient times, and even today, people settle near rivers to take advantage of this fertile land. The water in rivers helps crops grow, giving us the food we need to live. Today, we still rely on rivers for many things. But rivers are not just important for humans. They are also important for the animals and plants that live in them. Rivers are full of life. Fish, frogs, birds, and insects all depend on rivers for their homes. The plants along rivers also play an important role. Trees, flowers, and grasses grow along riverbanks, and their roots help keep the soil from washing away. These plants give food and shelter to animals and help keep the water clean. Rivers are truly a world of life, with every part working together. But water is not just about rivers. Water is also essential for us to survive. We drink it, cook with it, and clean with it. Water is in the food we eat, and it helps us stay healthy. Without water, nothing could live. It is needed for all the processes in our bodies like digestion, breathing, and even thinking. Our bodies are made up mostly of water, and we need to drink enough water every day to stay healthy. Unfortunately, not everyone has enough water. In some parts of the world, there is a shortage of clean water. People in many countries have to walk for hours every day just to find enough water to drink. In these places, people face many challenges because there is not enough water for everyone. Crops fail, and animals can't find water to drink. This is called water scarcity, and it is a serious problem that affects millions of people around the world. But there are solutions. Many communities around the world are finding ways to save water and make sure everyone has enough. For example, people are learning to use water more carefully. They fix leaks, use less water when washing, and find ways to recycle water. Some countries are building special systems to collect rainwater so it can be used later. These methods help conserve water and make sure it lasts longer. Water conservation is also about protecting our environment. When we use water wisely, we help keep our rivers, lakes, and oceans healthy. Polluted water harms plants and animals, and it can also harm people. So it is important to keep water clean and safe for everyone. There are many ways we can help protect our water. We can reduce waste, avoid using harmful chemicals, and recycle. Every small action counts. Water is also important for energy. In some countries, water is used to produce electricity through a process called hydropower. Hydropower uses the force of flowing water to turn turbines, which then create electricity. This is a clean way to produce power because it doesn't pollute the air like burning coal or oil. It is also a renewable source of energy, which means we won't run out of it as long as the water cycle continues. Water is a precious gift. It has been important since the beginning of time, and it continues to be the most important resource we have today. Without water, there would be no life, no plants, no animals, and no people. It is up to all of us to protect and save water, so it will be there for future generations. The next time you drink a glass of water, take a moment to appreciate how much it affects your life. It is the reason we are alive and the reason the world keeps turning. Water is truly the most important thing we have, and it is our job to take care of it. Let's use it wisely, protect it, and make sure everyone can enjoy its life-giving power for many years to come. Throughout the story, we have learned about the journey of water, from its mysterious origins to its crucial role in life today. Water, whether it came from space or deep inside the earth, allowed life to grow and thrive. The first living things, like microbes, began in the water, and all life on Earth still depends on water today. Rivers, oceans, and lakes continue to provide everything we need: drinking water, food, and even energy. However, it is important to remember that water is a precious resource, and we must protect it for the future. The lesson we can learn from this story is simple. Water is essential for life. We must use it wisely, conserve it, and protect it from pollution. In our daily lives, small actions like turning off the tap or using water-saving devices can make a big difference. By valuing water, we are helping to ensure a better future for ourselves and for the generations to come. Congratulations on following the story and improving your English listening skills. You've done a great job. Now, here's a small question for you. Where did water come from according to the story? A. From outer space. B. From deep inside the earth. Please comment on your answer, A or B, below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to keep supporting us. Your support helps us create more content to help you learn English. If you'd like to contribute further, please consider donating. Your donations help us create better content, especially in the early stages when we face challenges. Thank you for your support.